All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. Friday, October 11th, 2019. Going to talk about the NLCS game. The ALCS, they just updated that Greinke's going to pitch tomorrow for Houston, but still waiting to see who's going to pitch for the Yankees. The notes are almost finished. I'm just waiting for the Yankees pitcher, so see if we can figure out what they're doing. But let's talk about this NLCS game. I want to talk about the scenarios for the managers. I'll be really surprised if St. Louis isn't in the World Series. A lot lines up for them. And we'll also talk hockey. So let's go in this order. Let's start with the NLCS game. Nationals at Cardinals. It's about 3 hours from game time. The local start time 7:08. The East Coast time will be 8:08, where the Nationals fans are. St. Louis Cardinals is 88. Again, what's interesting about the NLCS and ALCS start dates is how they each connect to one of the teams. For the NLCS game, today leaves 81 days left in the year. Cardinals equals 81. And tomorrow, the ALCS begins on the day leaving 80 days left in the year. Yankees 80. And I got to admit, I'm pretty sore about the Cardinals because we talked about them at the start of the season how they were the one team using the alphabetic order that equaled 115. I thought they had a real shot at the World Series, but they got off to such a bad start, I fell for it. I thought, well, I guess it can't be them. They're so crappy this year. But then they caught fire and should have stuck with what I knew. Simple English, Gematria, and Baseball World Series are pretty good indicators. So, St. Louis is a... The line's negative 115 for St. Louis. Of course, St. Louis, again, the only city that sums to 115, just using the alphabetic order in the MLB. It's a typo right there. St. Louis is 5-2 versus Washington this year. What stands out to me about that is if they started off this series 3-0, if they came out and won the first 3 games, they'd be 8-2 versus Washington, and we know Washington Nationals is 82. So that is possible. It's possible that St. Louis comes out and takes the first 3 games. For the year, St. Louis is 3-1 at Washington and 2-1 at home. In the postseason all-time, St. Louis is 3-2 versus Washington. To me, this is the best narrative for Washington to win today. I don't think Washington's going to win, but if they do, the narrative's got to be right here. They'd even it up at 3-3. Nationals is 33 in the most pure cipher. But again, if you add that S, Nationals is also 42. So there is that to consider. The postseason records are important. And if Washington dropped the first 2 games, they'd be 2-5 versus St. Louis. St. Louis is 25 in the most pure cipher. St. Louis does have the 43 connection. So there's a few scenarios that could take place here. But again, just looking at the record for the year, I'm thinking, I wonder if St. Louis takes the first 3 games. If the Cardinals advance over the Nationals, which I expect them to do, they'll get to 137 postseason wins. Washington, D.C.'s 137. The Nationals are 16-19 in the postseason. Not nearly as much experience. If we did get the Nationals-Astros World Series, which there's still a chance of that, I'm thinking St. Louis has the better narrative here, but Nationals and Astros got the Skull and Bones tributes this year, and if the Nationals advance, they'd get to 20 postseason wins. Astros equals 20. So, it's possible. Anibal Sanchez, who's on the mound for the Nationals today, he's got the right name, 115 like St. Louis, also 74 like St. Louis. The game's 108 days after his birthday, Major League 108. He's 11-8 in the regular season, 0-0 in the postseason, so he's 11-8 for the entire season as well. For his entire career, he's 110-113. I was thinking about how if he got credit for 2 losses in this series, he'd get to 115 total career losses. And again, St. Louis 115, year of the 115th World Series. And that's going to be, it's possible for him to lose 2 times because he is starting it off as the first pitcher. Okay, Miles Mikolas, 138. Remember, Nationals equals 138. The manager of the Nationals, Dave Martinez, equals 138. It's the 138th season for the Cardinals. So Miles Mikolas leading it off in the Cardinals' 138th season. And that start time local is 7:08, kind of like his name. I'll just note that here. The game's 49 days after his birthday or his 50th day of his age. Washington equals 49 and 50. Mikolas for the entire year is 10 and 14. Hard to say where he could go from there. I don't see any riddle with the 11th win or really the 15th loss. Because St. Louis is 43, the 14th prime. DC is also 47, the 15th prime, but it doesn't really make anything clear. I just see that he's got that 138 connection for the Cardinals' 138th season. And I think if you see the Cardinals win today, I'd bank on the Yankees winning tomorrow, just because, again, the way the start date syncs up with both teams. Plus, Greinke's been a bum so far in the postseason. He's pitching tomorrow for Houston. So Mikolas, what he could do tonight is he could get his 33rd combined career win. He could get number 33. We know Nationals is 33 in the most pure cipher. Plus, we got the 33 date numerology. Again, the date numerology today, 60, 33, 15, 40, 21. I guess I was sleeping on that 15 a second ago. Because what was the 15 I just saw? I'll just make a note here. Mikolas could get 15th loss of season. 15 date numerology. I like the 33 more. I always prefer the Gematria to the date numerology. So the 33rd total career win over the Nationals would make sense. Hold on, we got a caller here. Caller?
What's up, Zach?
Hey.
Hey, I was just looking at that. If Mick loses on cards, he'll be 10 and 15 for the season.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good observation. How didn't I see that? It's kind of like 1-1-5.
Yeah, I was like, how'd Zach miss that?
Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, that's a good observation.
Honestly, I like Nationals today, but I think St. Louis is going to win the series.
Yeah, I think St. Louis has the better narrative too. Well, do you like the Nationals today because of that fact that Mikolas can become 10 and 15?
Yeah, and the 3-3. Nationals 33.
Oh, for the record for the year. He can get his 33rd win though.
Yeah, but he can get 25th loss, and he can go 10 and 15. St. Louis 25 and 150. And
yeah, those are good points. I don't know how I didn't see that 10 and 15. Yeah, you're right about that.
I was like, how'd Zach miss that?
Yeah, that's why it's good to have. Yeah, I miss things like that. It's right in front of my face. Okay, yeah, I hear you.
And then, well, you know how that Cardinals owner died?
You mean Bill Bidwell of the Arizona Cardinals, right? Yeah.
I was doing a little work on it. Bill Bidwell and Jewish equals 1015, like 1015.
Huh. That's interesting.
And Jewish.
Huh.
Yeah. I think Cardinals have a chance to actually win the World Series. This is crazy.
Well, I think if the Yankees are in it, I don't think the Yankees are going to get that win because they're at 27 and they finished the season with 103 wins, the 27th prime. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I just wanted to point that out. If Mick loses, he'll be 10 and 15.
Yeah, you're right. That was right in front of my face. That is a lot like 1-1-5. So, yeah.
And then Bill Bidwell, 10-15 and Jewish too.
Here, let me try that one out. Okay, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, sir.
All right, see it. Let's try it out. Bill Bidwell and Jewish. Again, he died on October 2nd. There it is. Interesting. And his name's 74 like St. Louis. Okay. All right. So he is right. Mikolas could pick up his 25th career loss too. But he can also get that 33 over the Nationals. They put out that number a lot. Well, I'm glad he pointed out the 10 and 15 thing. Whoops. Because that is very true. All right, so for the managers today, Dave Martinez is 4-2 in the postseason, right? So if he lost, he'd be 4-3. We know St. Louis in 43's played a lot this year as well. And then Mike Schilt, he's 3-2 in the postseason. So Nationals is 33 and 42. You could make an argument either way. What I liked about Schilt is today's game 63 days after his birthday. So he's got the more interesting birthday alignment because Cardinals is 63. So, yeah, maybe it's smart to just watch today's game. Again, I think the Cardinals and Yankees are going to move together because both of them are starting on the date that's significant to them. If it wasn't for that 10 and 15, which I'm glad he pointed it out, I'd stick with the Cardinals, but maybe it is smarter to just watch on this game. I do like the Cardinals to win the series, though, because here, what I want to do is I want to turn over some more stones with the World Series scenarios, but I started here. So just looking at the managers to the start date of the World Series, for Aaron Boone, it's going to begin 227 days after his birthday. That's interesting because ancient accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry is 227, Scottish Rite's 57, World Series is 57, 227 is the 49th prime, Scottish is 49. So the birthday distance does make sense. It's not a pure World Series number, but it's still a number that connects to Scottish Rite. And I don't again, the reason that so many championship numbers are connected to 57, I think, is because the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry has so much influence in sports. Caller?
Yeah, it's up, Zach.
Hey.
They were just talking about Garrett Cole on ESPN, and I guess since his winning streak is at 19 games or whatever, he's had 251 strikeouts since then.
54th prime baseball.
And he's born on September 8th, right?
251st day. I'm sure he'll win that next game.
115 days left in the year.
That's no. 114 days left in the year.
Oh, 114?
Yeah.
Oh, he's 9-8, so it's 114? Okay.
Yeah.
But they did mention in this streak, he had 251 strikeouts.
Yeah, that's perfect. I bet you he gets that 20th straight then because Astros is 20.
And I guess incredible he's won. Is it his 19 straight and 251 strikeouts? I knew when they said the number, it was like red flag.
Yeah, he had great numbers to win yesterday. And we saw how the first game of the ALCS lined up perfectly with the last Tampa Bay and Houston match, so...
Are you doing football today? I mean, baseball? Are you doing football? What are you doing?
We're doing baseball and hockey. Save the football for tomorrow.
All right. Well, The Lion King came out on DVD today.
Is that right?
3 months, 22 days.
To the Super Bowl?
Then Blu-ray comes out in 103 to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Real quick, since you brought up football, I just want to make sure people saw the post I put up on Patreon yesterday about the stats they ran last night about the Patriots and Saints. Yeah. So.
Yeah, putting out. So I'll let you up. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, man. Okay. So Aaron Boone has a what I would call a nice alignment to the start of the World Series. AJ Hinch. The World Series begins 160 days after his birthday. The way 160 could factor in is Mike Schilt, the manager of St. Louis, is 160. His name equals 160. So, I mean, it's not out of the question that Houston could make it and face St. Louis because there is a little something there. AJ Hinch equals 136. What that makes me think of is how we saw the Braves eliminated in their 136th season. And then, excuse me. I take it back. We saw the Braves get eliminated by the Cardinals, who became 13-6 in the postseason against the Atlanta Braves, and Atlanta Braves equals 136. And then Dodgers, it was their 136th season. And both teams got knocked out on the same day. So I'm thinking, okay, that number's connected to the teams that have been knocked out so far. Remember, 136 is the 16th triangular number, meaning if you had 1 through 16 together, it equals 136. So I still can't figure it out. I can't figure out what they're doing with the 16. There's got to be some significance to 16 and the reason they had that pattern take place. Also, the Nationals got their 16th postseason win when they knocked out the Dodgers. So I'm just going, what is it about 16? Hold on. What year did the Nationals become, or I should say the Expos, become the Nationals? Actually, that wasn't 16 years ago. 2004. Shit, this would be their 16th season. That was 15 years ago. Wait, no, maybe it's not, because it said following 2004, so that would have been 2005. So this would be 14 years later, or the 15th season. 16. There's something to it. Now, the St. Louis manager, the World Series begins 74 days after Mike Shilt's birthday. That's perfect, because St. Louis is 74 and 115, like the 115th World Series. So easily the best manager connection, in my opinion. And then for Washington, Dave Martinez, the World Series begins 26 days after his birthday. Special number, games 26, ball games 26. It would also be his 27th day of his age, MLB 27. So not bad, but compared to Schilt, the other National League manager, here I'll just specify NL and AL, just in case somebody's not sure about that. So between the two NL managers, Schiltz is a lot more interesting. And then just looking at the numbers on the surface, I like Boone's number connection better, unless it is foreshadowing that Houston would face St. Louis. But to me, it would make more sense if Houston played Washington based on the riddles we've seen unfold. So for the postseason head-to-head for the scenarios, the Yankees are 24-16 versus the Cardinals. I do believe if the Cardinals are in the World Series, it will go to Game 7 because it's 11 weeks and 5 days after Schilt's birthday. 11-5, 1-1-5. And if that did happen, the Yankees and Cardinals would play their 47th postseason game. St. Louis is 47 as well. So I'll just put the note here. Game 7 is 11 weeks and 5 days after Cardinals. Manager's birthday. Okay. The Yankees versus the Nationals, 32 games played to date. If they did meet in the World Series, the 33rd game would be the first game of the World Series. New York and Nationals is 33. They've never met in the postseason before. The Yankees and Cardinals have met 28 times in the postseason. Yankees lead 15-13. The Astros and the Cardinals, again, remember the Astros used to be in the NL, so they have a lot of games against the Cardinals. In the postseason, they're 7-6. So there's no way to have like a 115 tribute, something I was looking for. And then the Astros versus Nationals, again, they got a lot of regular season games. They've never met in the postseason either. If it was this World Series and the Nationals won, what stands out is the Nationals would get their 211th win, which is the 47th prime. Of course, DC's 47. Houston's also 112, the reflection of 211. So I think what we should do here is go back and look at when these teams played each other in the regular season and see how it lines up with the World Series. Because I think we're going to be able to unlock the clue here. And I wanted to do it in real time, just like how yesterday we saw how the Yankees and Astros last played in the regular season June 23rd, which was 111 days or a span of 112 to the start of the ALCS, where New York's 111 and Houston's 112. So let's do it here. Let's see if the Yankees and Cardinals, I'm not even sure they played each other this year, but let's find out. And if not, we'll see when they last played each other. All right, so Yankees versus Cardinals. They probably did not play each other. The last time they played was April 16th. That's the 106th day of the year, 2017. Let me just think about the date numerology real quick. You know what? This was a date with 57 numerology. I'm going to jot that down. It was a date with 57 numerology because World Series is 57. So, let me plug all this. Whoops, I'm on the wrong thing here. Where's the one? Here we go. Last time they played was April 16th, 2017. So, date numerology. Hold on, we got a call here. Caller? Caller?
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Can you do the Miami Virginia game?
College football?
Yeah.
Sure, we can do that. What time does it start? What time does it start? All right, I guess he's not going to tell me what time it starts. Good text. Somebody texted in and said, "Don't forget, game 1 equals 33 for tonight's baseball game." That is true. I don't know why I'm slacking on doing this year. This is important to do for your decode. So game 1 does equal 33. The problem is in this game, the 33 can play a few different ways. St. Louis can either fall to 3-3 versus Washington in the postseason, or what was the other 33? Mikolas could get his 33rd career win. Or Schilt could fall to 3-3. So it's like pick your 33. But here, let me just plug that in the notes real quick, and we'll go back to what we were doing. So, I guess you could argue that 2 go against St. Louis and 1 goes for them, but even still, it's just like, which is the one? So, here, I'll update that real quick. So on your end, if you have that link, it'll refresh. Okay. All right. Let's get back to seeing if we can map out what makes the most sense for the World Series, because I know my man that's got big bucks on the Yankees wants to know. Okay, so the Yankees and Cardinals last played each other on a 57 date. That's a good sign. Again, World Series is 57. So, let's see how many days it is from that date to... Hold on, we got a caller here. Caller?
When you're ready, if you have that link, it'll refresh.
Caller? You got to...
Okay. All right.
If you guys don't call in and do it right, I'm just going to hang up the phone. You got to be off the video and be talking through the phone. Let's see. It's 908 days, 129 weeks. 129 weeks and 5 days. Be a span of 909 days. Caller?
Hi, Zach.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I was wondering, is there any relationship between Luke Voigt, who played for the Cardinals, and the Yankees, and the Cardinals, and the Blues, and the Chiefs, all Missouri teams?
Well, you're onto a good little spider web there. I'd have to do some research on that. Well, what was your thought since you brought it together?
Well, I don't know. I've just been kind of thinking about that when you talked last year about the Boston teams and how it's rare that 3, teams from the same state win championships.
Right, because we had the Los Angeles Boston World Series, the Los Angeles Boston Super Bowl, and then the Stanley Cup, which was St. Louis, which is where the Rams came from, and Boston. So, I'm going to have to look at this more. It is a good thought. There might be something here. So.
Okay. And also, there was that tornado that hit Jefferson City, which is in the middle of the state. I was curious to see if there's any relationship between that, because it's kind of, it's the Missouri River runs through it, and why there would be a tornado up there in the first place. And I know the day before, there was a lot of chemtrails where I live in southern Missouri.
Sure. Well, that makes sense. That was earlier this year, wasn't it? Was that on the 33rd day of the year?
I don't remember.
I remember there was a tornado on the 33rd day of the year this year. No,
Okay,
this one was
it's
May.
rare.
This one was May 23rd, 2019. I'll look at it.
So it's rare that there are tornadoes in Jefferson City.
That was a date with 47 numerology. St. Louis 47. Okay, yeah, I'll look at how that lines up.
Okay.
All right.
Love your work. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for calling. All right, take care.
Bye.
All right, I'm going to save these notes. I'm going to come back to it, but I want to finish doing what we're doing here. Just see. Hold on. All right, one more call, and then I'm going to put a break on the phone. Caller? Caller? All right. He wasn't ready to go. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna put the phone down for a minute because I just want to get through the thought that I have about looking at how these matchups sync up with the World Series. All right, hold on. He's calling back. I'm going to take this one call, and then I'm putting the phone down for a minute. Caller?
Hello, Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the last female caller is on something because Luke 1 equals 115. And he played for the Cardinals, and now he plays for the Yankees.
Right. And I just saw how the last time they played was on this World Series date. So, yeah, that could be a great sign.
Yeah, and that was 131 months or weeks ago, last time they played.
Did I miss that?
I believe 131 weeks. If you look at the Gematria...
I got the wrong date in here. I put in the wrong date. Yeah, it's 131 weeks in 2 days. Yeah, you're right about that. 131.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And how if the Yankees win, they'll get again their 28th win all time on the cards?
They'd get their 28th win. Did I overlook that?
Yeah, because they currently have 24 wins.
If they won the World Series, they get their 28th World Series and their 28th win.
Amazing. But that Luke 115 is pretty amazing.
Okay, yeah, that's a great observation.
Yeah, this is Denham, Zach.
Yeah, I recognize it. All right, thanks, Denham. All right, see you, man.
No problem.
All right, I'm just going to put down the phone as I just go through this. It's not going to take that long, so we'll take calls again in less than 10 minutes, promise. Okay, this was 131 weeks and 2 days ago. And again, when you write out 57 as a word, it equals 131. Wait, am I writing in the wrong spot? And World Series equals 57. So they last played on a 57 date numerology 131 weeks and a couple days earlier. Yankees and Cardinals. That's a good sign for that to be the World Series. And again, Cardinals are the team that have the 115 connection. And here's another thought that I would throw out there. New York equals 111, right? New York was in the 111th World Series, and they played Kansas City Royals, which equals 212, like the New York area code. And Kansas City won that. So maybe it's not good to have the number coded on you for the World Series if you're in it. And maybe that's like New York's revenge since they lost the 111th World Series. Okay, let's look at the Yankees and Nationals. The last time they played, June 18th, 2018. 24-42-62 date numerology, 24-35 date numerology. Yankees is 35, Skull and Bones is 149, the 35th prime. It's not as interesting as the World Series number, that's for sure. June 18th, 2018. Let me see how that lines up. 70 weeks and 1 day. Now, New York Yankees does equal 70. Let me see what 491 is. 491 is the 94th prime. If you write out 94, it does equal 147 and 57 like World Series. Well, for the person calling in right now, again, just chill out a second. Let me finish doing this so we can get all the information down, and then we'll go back to the calls. So whatever great thought you have, just save it for a few more minutes. Last time they played was June 18th, 2018. 491 days before World Series. 491, 94th prime. 94, and it's amazing how it can even be like this. And this is what makes me think that sometimes they do have like a backup plan in case there's like too much money one way. This isn't as nice as the Cardinals connection, but it still fits in. I mean, if you've been following me for years, I've talked about the riddles with 94 in the World Series too. So it's like, what are the odds that they last played 491 days ago, which is the 94th prime, and then again 94, and you write it out, it's got the same thing, just like World Series, 147-57. Okay, so, but this date doesn't have the World Series. This date doesn't have the World Series numerology like April 16th did. And then April 16th is the 106th day of the year, which is that prophecy number, so it might be like foreshadowing that this is a big World Series to come. Okay, so you could make an argument there for Yankees-Nationals too, but again, I like the Yankees-Cardinals one better, and we're about to look at this Voigt dude. Let's see what we got on the other side of the aisle. Astros and Cardinals. And again, I think if the Astros are there, it's going to be more likely to be Nationals, but we'll see. Houston Astros. St. Louis Cardinals. It's going to take a second to load because there's a bunch of games. All right, here we go. They played each other July 28th this year. All right, let me close this for a second. All right. Last meeting was July 28th, 2019. This was a date with 35, 54, 74 numerology. 15, 17, 29, 35, 47. 4774 date numerology. St. Louis does equal 4774. And 54 date numerology. And let's see, July 28th. July 28th, the 209th day of the year, leaving 156 days remaining. See how it lines up with the World Series. 86 days before the start of the World Series, or a span at 87. 86 days before start of World Series. I don't believe either team has a connection to 86. What happens if you just write out St. Louis? St. Louis is 68. St. Louis, Missouri. Whoops, it's a typo. St. Louis, Missouri actually has that 167 connection, the 39th prime, big New York number. Okay, 86 days before the start of the World Series. I don't think it connects to either city. All right, and now let's see how it lined up with the Nationals. August 24th. August 24th. 236th day of the year, leaving 129 days remaining. 236. I feel like I just saw that. St. Louis Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals is 236, but this is the Astros and Nationals. All right. August 24th, 2017. 32, 49, 49 date numerology. Washington's 49, 69 date numerology. 32, 42 date numerology as well. 112 weeks and 5 days later. Houston's 112. 789. All right. Last meeting was August 24th, 2017. Okay, that is right. And 789 days before World Series. 112 weeks. What was it? 112 weeks and 5 days. Well, I'd have to say, out of the 4 potential scenarios, to me, by far the most interesting one is Yankees and Cardinals, which is, I mean, I'm asking myself if I'm biased because I'm already thinking that's most likely what the World Series is going to be, but I mean, that's the World Series number, 57, so that was the only one where the last meeting was on a 57-date numerology. And then it's also 131 weeks, and we know about 131 in championships. Again, when you write out 57 as a word, it equals 131, like championship, like Super Bowl. I don't even know what to say about the WNBA. I'm not messing with the WNBA anymore, I'll say that much, man. That didn't make any sense to me. Why didn't they close it out on the 57 date where it would have been perfect? I guess to bring it back on their home floor, but that was just too wonky. All right. So the Yankees and Nationals also sort of factored into the 57 thing just because it was 491 days earlier. The 94th prime and 94 does have that relationship. The year that I was all over the Cubs World Series, there was a big riddle 94 days before Game 7. I'd have to go back and look. I want to say that the Cubs player was even wearing number 94. But I remember it was 94 days before Game 7. And I was already thinking that the 112th World Series, that was the one the Cubs won, would go to Game 7 because it was on November 2nd, 112. Mathematics equals 112. Geometry equals 108. Major League 108. But there was this big riddle with the Cubs 94 days before Game 7. And that's when I first clued into the whole 94 World Series relationship. So the Yankees have the more interesting syncs because both of these things are Yankees. Yankees Cardinals or Yankees Nationals. And then the Astros Cardinals, July 28th. They did play each other this year. It was a date that had 47 and 74 numerology, which does connect to St. Louis, but then again, it was a St. Louis baseball game. So I don't think 86 factors in. I guess let me just write out 86 in case there's not something. When you write out 86, it's 54, like baseball. But, yeah, I don't see how 86 days or a span of 87 really factors into the World Series. Unless there's something I'm missing there, but okay, I'm just trying to see. So the Astros are 7-6 in the postseason versus the Cardinals. If they played each other 86 days later and the Astros won, they could go up 8-6. Still, I'd rather see the World Series numbers. And then Astros Nationals. It is 112 weeks and days later, and Houston is 112, but still, the Yankees equations look better. All right, somebody's calling in. I'll start answering the phone again. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
Hey.
Sorry to call so many times. I just think it's kind of important. Maybe you can verify it and double verify it, but I've checked it twice. I'm getting 2 different answers though. But Mike Schilt, the Cardinals manager, he's on 131 regular season wins for his career.
I believe that's correct. I should have it all written down here, don't I? Where did I?
And then also there's an individual by the name of Paul Goldschmidt.
Yep.
He was a player that was traded from the from the Diamondbacks to the Cardinals. As we know, Arizona has that 39 connection.
Wait a minute.
Just like New York.
Wait a minute real quick. I think Schilt's on 132 regular season wins.
Yeah, see, that's the same thing I got when I checked Baseball Reference, but I actually went and looked at it, and they actually have him as 41 wins for that, but it's actually 40. He was a mid-season coach. They surprisingly fired their manager, and he was like an interim guy. I don't know why they have an extra win for him on Baseball Reference, but it's 40. It's 40 and 28. They went in the second half, and he got fired during the All-Star break.
Huh. So it could actually be 131. Which would make sense. I believe it. Sometimes these things are a number off, which is also like it screwed us the other week with the Bengals decode.
Yeah, so the funny thing is, okay, so they have him as 41 and 28, but being as though I checked the day that he was fired, and the other guy was fired July 14th, and the second half of that season, the Cardinals went 40 and 28, not 41 to 28.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. Well, that would fit right in with their last win being 13-1.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Because remember, I was telling you that score stood out to me so much that it took me off the Dodger game. And now with this 131 for that same manager, that's kind of crazy significant.
Right. Yeah.
And I had to check it. It looks like Baseball Reference is definitely... They're wrong in one instance, but then they're right in another, because if you check the Cardinals on Baseball Reference, second half of 2018 season, it says 40 and 28. But his managerial record says 41 and 28. I just think that might be an error.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I appreciate it.
Basically it.
All right, thanks, man. Okay. Yeah. Again, 131 big championship number. We just saw St. Louis win 13-1 in Atlanta, Georgia, which is also 131. So I think that was symbolic. And again, to me, that's the sign that St. Louis is going places. That's also part of why I was just favoring St. Louis today. I mean, they don't have to win today to win the series, but it's always a good sign to jump out 1-0, especially when you're playing at home. So. But yeah, the caller who pointed out that Mikolas could fall to 10 and 15, I mean, that is hard to ignore, it being the quest for the 115th World Series. So I might chill on today's baseball game, but expect Cardinals to take the series. Caller?
Zach, Wikipedia got it. If you Wikipedia Mike Show, it has 131 up there. That was the secondary site I went to check it. You know how they like to throw it up in our face with the Wikipedia clues?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
all right.
So on Wikipedia, they have them with 131 career regular season wins.
Okay. All right, yeah, that's worth taking note of. So that would be another signal he's going to the World Series. All right, man, thank you.
Yeah, that 131 was crazy. It's right there.
Yeah, they got him at 131 and 95. So, and that's also interesting because they just beat the Braves, and Braves is 95, and Jimmy Carter's 95. So.
Okay.
All right.
But just as long as someplace reputable, I at least wanted to have at least one other place you could check that hat 131. You know what I mean? I didn't want you to just believe what I was saying.
Well, no, I hear you, man. I know you call in and give good information, and I do know those sites sometimes are off one game because a lot of times it's just like after finding out the Bengals thing, it was like, oh man, Dalton was already on 68 wins. So anyway.
Yeah, and that Goldsmith connection as well. When you write his name out, it equals 65, just like we know the New York Yankees with the 65. And also one theory I have: the reason why the Washington Nationals might still be in. If you look at the most successful MLB franchises, as far as when it comes to like World Series appearances and everything like that, the Yankees and the Cardinals are the two most successful baseball franchises right now. And the Yankees are sitting on 134 World Series wins. So they can get that 137 Washington. I just see the 137 connection, because I have them losing. And losing possibly in 7. So they would stay on the 137, and we all know Washington, D.C., when you write it out, equals 137.
Sure. Yeah. Good point. All right, man. Caller?
Okay.
Caller?
Hey, Zach.
Hey.
Hey, man. I heard you talking about 16 earlier and the significance of 16, and I've seen 16 too. I started seeing 16 around the time that Libra season started. And I just typed in 16 and Libra, and they have overlap of 93 and 39. There's also a 42 and a 33. Libra's 42, 16 is 33. These are Yankees and Nationals numbers. Yankees have the 33. So does Nationals. Nationals has the 42. Yankees have the 39.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if that's what's gonna. And then Libra season also ends on October 21st or 22nd, and that's around the time that the final games are being played for the ALCS and NLCS.
Okay. And you said the way you connected 16 to Libra was by writing out 16?
You write out 16, yeah, it equals 33, 93, and 39. Libra also equals 93 and 39. So there's the two overlap.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. All right.
That's around the time that I started seeing 16. I kept seeing it appear in different series and stuff, so it was interesting.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got for you, man.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks. Okay, let's check out this Luke Voigt guy. So, let's get Luke Voigt's stats here. Okay. So, he's born on the 44th day of the year. He's from Missouri. 28 years old, like how the Yankees are going for that 28th World Series. And if the Yankees did beat the Cardinals in the World Series, they'd get to 28 postseason wins versus the Cardinals. So that is very interesting. All right. 2 years with the Yankees. 2 prior was with St. Louis. And is there anything that jumps out about his stats coming in? We'll look at how his birthday lines up with all this. Well, he's been hitting a whole lot more home runs in the AL. That's for sure. Or I guess it's only his 3rd year of Major League Baseball. He got traded. I see he got traded early in 2018 to the Yankees. Okay, I see what happened. So a year and a half with each team. Let's go back and look at the trade. Let's go back and figure out when this guy got traded. Does it say that here? I want to find out what day this guy went to the Cardinals. All right, first we'll do his birthday, and then we'll find out what day he joined the Yankees from the Cardinals. We'll run his name Gematria too. So... wow, look at that. The World Series starts 251 days after his birthday. That's the 54th prime, and baseball's 54. Caller?
Hey, Zachary.
What's up, man?
Oh, yeah, I just let you know that the game tonight, UVA going 8 o'clock tonight. 8 o'clock tonight, college football.
8 o'clock Eastern, okay. All right, I'll take a look at it.
Okay, before you leave, I got a question for you. When you decoded basketball and college basketball and NBA and is it in the same order of college football or not really? Is it the same kind of order or different? Or it's real different?
Well, it's very similar. It's looking at the gematria and the head-to-head and the date. But what's awesome about college basketball is once it gets a little bit later in the season and prime number relationships can start hitting in records, it's the most consistent in college basketball. It's how people have won some monster parlays in college basketball. So, yeah, as you get towards the end of the college basketball season, you can really clean up with this.
What about NBA?
NBA is just like how I'm doing hockey right now. So.
Oh, same like a hockey?
The thing I like about hockey, though, hockey actually might be my favorite sport because the hockey points, if you've noticed, every hockey point riddle's hit so far this year, and points are really good in hockey, so.
Yeah, I'm back on the board now. I put some money in my account, so I'm ready to play again. So I'm listening to you, so I might play that UVA game tonight. So, hockey got a good hockey game tonight, yet? A good hockey game?
Well, yeah, there was more. There's only 3 games to choose from tonight. Yesterday there were some good ones on the board, and they all hit. But
I missed that.
well, they're going to come up plenty of times, and it gets better as the hockey season goes on anyway. So, yeah, just keep following the notes.
Okay, I will. So this time I'm gonna listen to you this time, right?
Yeah. All right, man.
All right, thanks, sir.
All right, you're welcome. Take care.
All right.
Okay, so 251 days after his birthday, that's the 54th prime. Baseball's 54, so that is really interesting. Let's see what else we can find out about Luke Voit. Luke Voit, Cardinals to Yankees. It must have been a trade, right? How bad was the Luke Voit trade? What's this say? All right, so they're saying the Yankees definitely got the better end of this. July 27th, 2018 was the date of the trade. July 27th, 2018. $452 days. Hi, Kathy.
Hey, July 28th is your date, 2018.
Are you saying his trade date?
Yeah. I put it in chat.
I think it's July 27th, but either way, it's okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's July 27th because it says right here, huh? But okay, so that's 452 days ago, or a span of 453. And let me see. Okay, 453 is not prime. 452 is not prime. Is there something about the weeks? 64 weeks and 4 days. Well, what about the date, July 27th? I think that's the 207th day of the year. Oh, 208th day of the year. Leaving 157 days remaining. That's the 37th prime. Yankees 37. Well, I don't really see the significance of the date he was traded in light of how the World Series lines up, but it is interesting that his birthday, the way that lines up with the start of the World Series. Let me see what his full name is. Luke Voit, 115. I love that. What about his full name? Louis Linwood Voit III. So many of these athletes are the second, the third, the fourth. 108 like Major League. 117 like Major League Baseball. Louis Voit III, 70 like New York Yankees. All right, but anyway, he does have that 115. So I think he is part of the riddle here. And I do like how his birthday syncs up. All right. Let's put together a little post just documenting this just so everyone knows what's up. Okay. I'll just post this on the Patreon just because we cover so much stuff, it's easy to forget things. And here, right after I do this, let's pause and talk about the hockey games tonight. I haven't done that yet, have I? 1 second, I just want to get this information up here. And real quick, I want to talk about how I really effed up for this MLB season. I didn't do the fundamental things like I did with the NFL, like measuring from the managers to the key dates. I should have done all that. Caller?
Yeah, Zach. Mike Schultz got the 89th birthday, the August 9th.
What's your thought about that?
Well, champions equals 89.
Oh, okay. All right.
And not just that, he was born in the year 68. Championship equals 68. And his last name, Schultz, if you write it out, equals 27, just like MLB, and he could keep the Yankees on 27 World Championships.
Right. If the Yankees came up one game short, they'd be on 27 wins versus them. So.
Yeah, that 68, Zach, though, that he was born in the year 68, very important. And that guy, Paul Goldschmidt, from his birthday to the start of the World Series, and I think he's going to play a key role, is 43 days.
St. Louis.
Championships or champions equals 43?
Well, I'm just thinking St. Louis is 43. Let me see. Champions. Let's see. Champion. The singular is 43.
Champion, yeah. Equals 43, yeah. It's one of them.
All right.
So, yeah, those are the two standouts I saw. But Mike Schultz, especially with that 89th birthday and the born in the year 68.
Okay. Yeah. Good observations.
All right.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks. All right, so Luke Voit was traded from Cardinals to Yankees July 27th, 2018. And it's a date with 45 numerology, like how he wears the number 45, Major League 45. Oh, shit. The wrong button. Caller?
Hey, I heard a caller talking about 137. I was just curious, did you think there was any significance with the Rays and the Astros total runs being 37 for the series?
Yankees is 37, so I guess the winner was going on to play the Yankees.
Okay, so whether they got 37 or 39, it was still going to go. 39 is New York, right?
Yep.
Okay, so maybe that was it. All right. And then, also, I just wanted to mention, I remember, I meant to mention it yesterday, but I read this article right before the postseason started, and it was saying how St. Louis, they had a really great shot as underdogs to win the World Series or whatever. It was an ESPN article. So,
yeah.
I thought that was pretty intriguing.
Well, the other thing is Tim Kirkshin on ESPN, that little squirrely guy, he's been talking about the Cardinals, how he just knew they were going to be in the postseason for months now, so... Yeah.
Yeah, we did a good impression of his voice. All right, that sounds good, man. I'll keep listening.
All right, take care, man.
Peace.
Okay. Yeah, I love these experts that ESPN has on to talk about sports. The one guy is like on ESPN, the new fat member of the tribe. He's like rounder than a basketball. It's like, what does this guy know about basketball? Why do I have this man that looks like he weighs 585 pounds telling me anything about basketball? I bet this guy's never even dribbled a ball in his life. Anyway, the Van Gundy brothers. Oh my God, don't even get me started. All right, his birthday was 251 days before the start of the World Series. 251, 54th prime. Yeah, and I mean, this would be one of those storylines they could talk about in the World Series, right? Ooh, man, don't the Cardinals wish they had Luke Voit today? Who could have imagined that these teams would meet in the World Series? So, I mean, it's usually how it is. All right, let's see. Luke Voit, former Cardinal, traded to New York Yankees. 115th World Series clue. Caller?
Hey, what up, Zach?
Hey, man.
Yeah, so they got Vegas has the Houston Astros to win the World Series at even money. So that means you bet $100, you get $100. So they have to first beat the Yankees and then win the championship, the World Series, and then so Vegas is got the Houston Astros to win it. That's one thing. Notice last night's game, it was projected to rain. Not one single drop of rain I saw on the TV screen. How they get us, huh? One other thing, also this Sunday, Broncos halftime, Pat Bowlen and Champ Bailey halftime ceremony.
Okay.
And actually, there's actually something more to it. Last Wednesday, Denver declared Pat Bowlen Day. The city of Denver to honor late Broncos owner on Wednesday. Last Wednesday.
Huh.
So, That's basically it.
Did you catch the odds on the other three teams?
Well, yes. The Yankees were at plus 250.
Okay. St. Louis 25. All right.
The Cardinals were at 390, and the Nationals were at plus 400.
So think about that: 390, New York 39, St. Louis 25. So.
Okay. Oh, you see, they do the numbers. It's all the numbers.
Right.
I was gonna say one last thing. You know how TV they make us stuff like that, and I've been noticing something because I'm very analytical, and I noticed that when you do a search on Yahoo, on YouTube, you do any search on YouTube, you click on the page, the screen, the search bar is gonna be clear, like you didn't, and it's gonna go to the page to the stuff you search, and then all of a sudden in the corner you have all the suggested videos. So I noticed that every time I type for certain stuff, the suggested videos has something else, trying to gear you something else. So it's kind of like, you have to stay focused when you do the searches on YouTube, because they're trying to get you to watch what they want, not what you want to search.
Of course.
So something to be mindful of everyone.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Izzy, man. Good point. All right. Take care.
Bye.
All right. So today's whoops, this doesn't need to be in my that doesn't need to be in my hockey notes. Hockey today, there's only 3 games. So what stands out about this Panthers-Sabres game, isn't it interesting that Florida's a favorite on the road at Buffalo, who doesn't have a loss in regulation yet? Hold on, got a call here and then we'll go over this. Caller?
Hello, what's up, Zach? I just want to make a quick point. The last time the Yankees and St. Louis played in the World Series was October 15, 1964.
Woo!
St. Louis won that series. And if you look to it now, it's 54 years later. And I heard you say something about 54 earlier.
The player who got traded from the Cardinals to the Yankees, it starts 251 days after his birthday, the 54th prime, but October 15th, 1015. That's a great one.
So it's been 54 years since they played in the World Series. The Yankees got the first most wins of World Series, and the Cardinals got the second. So I think that might be a match. I'm not 100% sure, but that might be. I remember you said the 54.
Well, there's a lot. There's more. The most clues are pointing to Yankees Cardinals for the World Series. So.
Okay, I just wanted to make that point that the last time they played was October 15, 1964, and it'll be like 54 years if they do meet up in this World Series. I just wanted to make that point about the 54 years.
Perfect. Yeah, great point. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, that's it.
All right, take care, man.
Okay.
I got to build on that World Series clues post. We got to go back and look at the former World Series. I meant to do that. Okay, so 3 hockey games tonight. Panthers at Sabres. It's very interesting that the Panthers are the favorite on the road. The Gematria seems to support the Panthers, though. If the Sabres lost, Buffalo Sabres equals 127. That's the 31st prime. So they'd have 3 wins and 1 loss in the column if they lost tonight. Also, if the Sabres did lose, they'd fall to 3-1-1, which is like 311, the 64th prime. Buffalo Sabres equals 64. So that's there. The narrative for the Sabres to win, though, is you do have this lesser date numerology of 40. They could improve to 4-0 in the win-loss column. Still, I like the Gematria more than the date numerology. The only thing that's missing here in this riddle is a point scenario, but I was noticing that if Florida went on a little winning streak or won 3 out of their next 4 games, they would get to 4-3, and those were numbers that came up a lot last year with the Panthers because Florida and Panthers both equal 43. So Panthers would need to win 3 out of their next 4 to get there. This is also the 101st match between the 2 teams. Panthers does equal 101. And again, it's not a perfect pattern, but when it's the series match that connects to a team, that team wins more often than not. And I'd probably say it's at a ratio of around 2 out of 3 times that team would win. So it's not an every time thing, but I would have to say the Panthers, I just don't understand why. I mean, it doesn't make sense that they should be the favorite, so I feel like it's baiting people to bet Buffalo. But the Gematria says Panthers have the better narrative here. Again, if you want to be real patient and just wait till we get deeper into the hockey season, we're already off to a good start. But when you get deeper, there's just way more points riddles that come up, and the points is where it's at. The points riddles are the strongest in hockey. Yesterday, there was one clear points riddle on the board. If a team lost in overtime, they'd end up with X amount of points, 82 points on the day, leaving 82 days left in the year. That's exactly what happened. And so far, all those riddles are perfect this year. Ducks and Blue Jackets. Hold on. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
Hey.
I wanted to point out one thing about, I like Sabres tonight as well. Oh, actually, I'm not Sabres, Panthers. If Sabres lose, they'll be 3-1-1, and then they play Dallas next.
1-1-3.
Yeah, Dallas 1-13.
That's a good point.
And also, they have 33 days in numerology, right?
Right.
And do you ever look at the goalies' wins and losses?
Sometimes I do, but I realize that if I just stick to points in hockey, I do a lot better because the goalies throw me off as much as they help me out. So.
Okay, well, Corpusella for Blue Jackets, he can get 33rd loss tonight.
The Blue Jackets.
He's not confirmed. That's another thing why the goalies are a little iffy.
Well, that is a good observation, though. But I mean, watch him win, and you'll be like, "What the hell?" Because I mean, that's what happened to me a lot with the goalies. So I just know that the best thing in hockey is the points.
Okay, and then Anaheim equals 51, and they have a chance to go 5-1.
It's also 33 too, right? So yeah, but yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, and then they have a chance to go 5-1 against the Bruins, the Boston Bruins equals 51.
That's a good point. I know you're right about that. Yeah.
If they beat Jackets tonight and then they go on to beat Bruins, the next game will be 5-1.
Yeah, that game's on the road. So.
But I think Panthers is really strong tonight for sure.
Okay. All right. Fill in the Panthers riddle. So for the Ducks, I'd also point out that if they lost tonight, they'd be 3-2 going into Boston, which is 32. So.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, you can make a good point with the 51.
Yeah, I like Panthers tonight for sure, though.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
All right, see you. Yeah, I was going to say this Anaheim game looks dangerous anyway because, but yeah, he's right about that. I know Boston Bruins is 51. So if the Ducks did lose tonight, they would fall to 3-2. Ducks is 32. Blue Jackets, you can make an argument for them becoming 1-3 or 2-2 because Ducks is 13 and 22. Ducks do play Boston next, so if they lost, they'd go into Boston 3-2. But hold on, let's add on to that. Anaheim equals Boston Bruins equals 51. They could get to 5-1, winning next two. That's tough though to win two on the road like that. So if Columbus won, they'd get their 66 points versus the Ducks. And it's a 33-date numerology. You'll notice we've documented so many times, when you write out 33 as a word, it equals 66. It seems like 33 and 66 come together a lot in sports on 33 and 66-date numerologies. So, but yeah, you got arguments going both ways, so that's not a safe game by any stretch of the imagination. The Islanders and the Hurricanes, again, 33-date numerology. New York's got the 33 connection. Both of these teams play in the Metropolitan Division. Metropolitan equals 166. The Hurricanes are on 166 points versus the Islanders right now. Raleigh, NC's 166. And then they scored 2 more points. They'll be 168 like New York City. So I'm wondering, could they pick that up tonight, or do they got to get that in New York City when they play them next? If the Islanders lost, though, they would fall to 1-3. And when you write out 13, like 1-3, when you write out 13, it equals 117, like Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina is a pretty substantial favorite at home tonight. Also, if the Islanders lost their next 2 games, they'd fall to 1-4, and then they'd play the Blues, who equal 14 in the most pure cipher. Caller?
Hey, Zach. Anaheim and Columbus game, NHL, hockey. The narrative for that game is Anaheim has been playing on the road for the last 3 or 4 nights.
Right.
All the way from the West Coast to the East Coast. So they're on a long road trip, and they're playing the rested Columbus team.
That's how I looked at it too. I looked at it the same way. So
that's a narrative. I'm not, but that's why I guess more money is you don't get is the favorite are Columbus to win. That's why.
Right.
But I just want to say that out. But
okay, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it, man.
All right.
Because even though it is all scripted, I mean, that's still typically that's the way it goes in sports. When you're on a road trip, you start losing some games at the end. So, Ducks just played at the Red Wings, at the Penguins, now at the Blue Jackets, then at the Bruins, then they're back home. So, that's why it's hard to imagine them doing the 5-1 thing. Going in 3-2 could make sense, and if they lost that game, they'd be 3-3, right? Because Anaheim's 33, and so is Massachusetts. So, but again, I encourage you to exercise patience. We're doing well with hockey so far. Yesterday, there were some narratives that I emphasized that I really liked. I don't see anything as great today as that I saw yesterday. There's only 3 games. That's part of the reason why we don't have a lot to choose from. But just as we get deeper into the season, NHL, when the points start really racking up, like you'll just see teams coming in on 12 points versus the Blues. They could pick up their 14th points versus the Blues. Blues equals 14. It's almost money in the bag. So we're getting there. And let's see. Somebody asked to look at a college football game. Let's look at the college football game real quick. Then we'll come back, and I want to look at the World Series history. I think the only teams that have World Series history out of the potential matchups are the Yankees and St. Louis. So, let me see here. All right, we got 2 games that are ranked tonight. Ducks are 13 in the nation. Ducks equals 13. Colorado State, New Mexico also going on. Rams equals 24 if New Mexico lost. They'd be 2-4. Rams equals 15 and 24. All right, we'll look at that. All right, let's make a new post. Hold on, I want to copy something real quick. Okay. I saw the over-under was at 42.5. Games in Florida. Florida 43 like football. All right, let's see what's what here. Let's see. Virginia Cavaliers. Let's see if they go 179, 41st prime. Is that their record right now? So they're 4-1. Virginia Cavaliers is 179, the 41st prime. You got the 33 date numerology. Miami could improve to 3-3 on the 33 date. Here, let me just put the gematria up. Cavaliers, Virginia. All right. Hurricanes. Miami is a 2.5 point favorite at home. Over under 42.5 again. Florida's 43. Football's 43. Let's see what these teams have done against each other. don't think this is football. This looks like basketball. All right, here we go. Virginia. All right, so Miami's so Miami could get to 17-9 versus Virginia tonight, and Virginia Cavaliers equals 179. So that stands out right away. Tonight, Miami can become 17-9 versus Virginia all time. So here it is right here. This is Miami's head-to-head football record. Ooh, it's their 83rd season, football 83. And what just happened here? So they're 16. Oh, shit. Never mind, you guys. I can't read right. I'm sorry. Hold on. False alarm. Hold on. I wish that's the way it was. That would have been perfect. But okay, it's the 17th game, and they're 9-7 versus Virginia. They could stay on 7 losses in the 17th game. That's the 17th prime. 17th game, Miami leads 9-7. 17th, 7th prime. Miami could stay on 7 losses. They'd pick up their 10th win in the 10th month. Here, let's see what the record is at Miami. Last game was almost exactly a year ago. They played on Saturday last year, this same week. Okay. So at home, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-2 at home. Miami is 6-2 at home. What's their stadium equal anyway? Hard Rock Stadium. Let's check it out. Hard Rock Stadium. Nothing going there. Miami, FL is 63. If they lost, they'd be 6-3. So now we're a little bit conflicted. The answer could be in the coaches' records. Miami, Florida. Miami, Florida's 79. Kind of like how they're 9-7 against each other. All right, make sure I'm not missing anything in the team names. Cavaliers is 63 too. That's another 63 connection on board. Cavaliers 63. Miami's 36 as well, right? I guess from Virginia's perspective, they could become 3-6. So through the home record, there's a few things that stand out in the Cavaliers' favor. The overall record, though, staying on those 7 losses in the 17th game would make sense for Miami. All right, let's see what's up with the coaches. Again, it's really all about the coaches in college football. It's just like last week when we looked at that game with Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati and UCF game, it looks so good for UCF. The only thing that was there for Cincinnati was the game was 54 days after that coach's birthday, and upset equals 54, and they got the upset. So, I mean, I'm still sore about last week's college football game. The thing that sucked too for me is there was a gentleman who printed out my book and he sent it to me, and he sent it to me in the mail, and I received it that same day as the UCF game, and he watched the live stream and he's like, I even feel like making a bet for the first time today, and I think he bet on that game. I was like, well, that sucks, man. He makes a bet for the first time and he loses on a game that I thought was golden, so that didn't feel good. All right, let's look at what's up with the coaches here. Whoops, that's not what I want. Miami football coach is what I want. I think it is Manny Diaz. Manny Diaz. 107. Ooh, so now there's the coach. There's the coach type of riddle, right? So if Miami wins, they'll be 10-7. Manny Diaz equals 107. Miami coach. All right, let's see what his record is. He's 2-3. Okay, it's his first year. So you got 33 date numerology. So not a whole lot to go off of. All right, Virginia football coach. Bronco Mendenhall. He's 119-66. I think that Hard Rock Stadium was 66, wasn't it? Let me go back and check that out. Yeah, it was. So if he didn't lose, he'd stay on 66 losses. I can already pretty much tell you that I don't like this game. Whoops. Caller?
Hey, Zach.
Hey,
I'm looking at that Virginia-Miami game. I'm looking at it on a pregame. And it looks like the line started off at like -1.5 for Miami and moved up to -3. But this is, I don't know, this pregame.com thing, I don't know, maybe you can help me read it. It looks to me as if there's more money on Virginia, but they raised the line on Miami. I mean, can you look at that? And it looks weird to me.
I'm trying to load the website, but it's not loading for me right now. All right, there we go. Let's see. So when it was a pick'em, 58% of the money was on Miami. Now that Virginia's got the cushion, 86% of the money is on Virginia.
And how come why do you think that the line is -3 for Miami and all the money's on Virginia?
Well, they shifted the way the money went down. So you'd have to figure out what it's all accumulated at now, because those bets are still out there standing for when it was a pick'em.
Okay. Does that look right to you?
Well, it just goes to show that even the gamblers' minds, it's a close game, but now that they see that the Miami has the spread, they think Virginia can cover that. So.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'll continue to listen, but it looks like Miami has the date numerology on their side.
They do have the date numerology on their side, but again, it's the date numerology. It's better to find the Gematria connections than the date numerology. This game looks like real danger to me. I feel like if I picked this game and got it right, it would only be because I was lucky. So I don't like this game.
All right, thanks, Zach.
All right, yeah, see you, man. Okay, so this Bronco Mendenhall, though, 119-66. So if he doesn't lose, he stays on 66 losses in the stadium. And we know these stadiums definitely play a factor. Hard Rock Stadium, 66. So he could stay right on that. I'll look at... Let me see. He's 20-23 with Virginia. This is his 44th game. You know how when I first read it wrong, just for the record, had I read it right, those are great indicators in all sports. Like if it was true, the way my eyes misread it at first, if Miami had a chance to become 17-9 versus the Virginia Cavaliers, that would be a great read. But it's not that way. It's the 17th game and they lead 9-7. So that coach, though, he could get to 3-3 on the 33 date, and it would make his program 10-7, and his name, Manny Diaz, does equal 107. Let me see, Bronco Mendenhall. His name's 79. His name's 43. Here, let me just go on. I'm tempted to look at who they play next. All right, let me just do it. It's just I'm remembering what burned me so bad in the Cincy game last week. Upcoming. We'll just see who they face next. Virginia football schedule. Okay. They play Duke next. Duke's 41, like how they are 4-1 right now. Let's see. Duke Blue Devils. Duke Blue Devils is 53. Blue Devils. I don't see the connection there. What about who they play after that? Louisville Cardinals. Louisville. Cardinals. Could they be 6-3? All right, let's say they lost tonight. Let's say they lost tonight. They'd be 4-2. Beat Duke 5-2. No, they can't be. They can't be 6-3. Was Louisville also 62? Louisville's 62 though. Okay, so they could be 6-2 by the time they were done with Louisville. That doesn't answer for sure what they do tonight. They're 3-2 overall. Miami at Miami. This is probably their toughest game. All right, so I'll write this. Virginia's. Whoa. This is their most likely game to lose in the next three. Duke's not good. And where was the Louisville game at anyway? It is in Louisville. But Virginia will probably win that because they're the better team. Where did they play Duke? They played Duke at home. They're definitely not going to lose that. At Miami, versus Duke, at Louisville. So, I mean, based on that, you could have a hunch. It's just still, I wouldn't feel comfortable betting this game because of what could happen at home. I mean, there's plenty of reason there to think that they could fall to 6-3 at home versus Virginia. And Mendenhall staying on 66 losses. So, let me make sure I'm not missing something with the Cavaliers, Gematria. Virginia Cavaliers. All right, let me move on to the next game. I'm not crazy about it. Well, hold on. Let me finish looking at Miami's football schedule here. They got Georgia Tech next. What are they, Yellow Jackets? I haven't thought about Georgia Tech since Stephon Marbury. Let's see. Georgia Tech. 62. What's their record? Georgia Tech. Well, that doesn't help. Who do they play after that? Pitt. Panthers. Well, if they won their next two games, they could face the Panthers 4-3. Panthers is 43. Pitt's also 43. Caller?
Hi, I'm a new subscriber here.
Hey.
Nice to meet you and speak with you, Zach.
Yeah, how you doing?
Great, thanks a lot. Just perusing through your body of work, and how do you feel about today?
Are you talking about the football game I'm doing right now?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm going to look at these 3 games and see which one I think looks the best here. So.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I look forward to it. Do you think you'll have some winners?
Well, hopefully that's the goal. So.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, man.
All right. Well, I'll stay tuned.
All right. Appreciate it. Take care. Caller?
Hello.
Hello?
Oh, what's up?
Yeah.
Oh, what am I saying? The game tight is real tight, right?
This Virginia-Miami game looks pretty tight. Yeah.
Yeah, so you see the spread at 2.5. Remember, I want to talk about the 2.5 time.
Right?
You see that 2.5. So I just want to watch the game. That we gonna not bet on, we just watch and then see what I'm talking about with the 2.5. What I be talking about.
Oh, okay. You like that 2.5's a good signal to you. So.
Yeah. So we're just gonna sit back and watch that game, and we're gonna see what I'm talking about.
Okay, because it started out even, and now Miami's a 2.5 point favorite. So you like Miami to take this game then?
I like Virginia to win because they 2.5 underdogs favorite.
Oh, okay. You like the underdog at the 2.5. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm not gonna bet. I'm not gonna bet on personal battle. Bet on. I just want people to watch and see what I'm talking about.
Okay, because it started out even and it went to 2.5. So you like the underdog when it goes there.
Yeah.
All right. I'm watching.
Right.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, Virginia's narrative to win is through the record at Miami, which goes in their favor, and Bronco Mendenhall staying on 66 losses at the stadium that equals 66. All right, so Miami's next 2 games are Georgia Tech and Pitt. If they win next 2, they will go into Pitt 4-3, and Pitt equals 43, Panthers equals 43. It's Pitt's name, Pittsburgh Panthers. So looking down the road, I would say looking down the road makes it look better for Miami tonight, just because unless Virginia's going to lose that game to Louisville, which is possible. It's at Louisville. That'd be an upset. Upsets do happen. But it would make a lot of sense for Virginia to be 6-2 after Louisville, and it would. But Miami would have to win tonight for their future record to make sense. Because if they lose tonight, there's no way to hit 4-3 going into Pitt. So. But yeah, that one's definitely conflicted. Remember, if the Miami coach does win, though, his name does equal 107. His team would get to 10-7 versus Virginia. Manny Diaz. All right, let's see here. CSU negative 4.0, 4-point favorite. OU 67. What is it? Colorado State Rams, isn't it? Yep. And Lobos, New Mexico Lobos. Yep. All right, let's try it out. Rams, Colorado State, Rams. Hold on, let me write in Friday real quick too. Friday's got that 63-36 thing. That's right. So let me add that to my list up here. All right, Colorado State Rams. Did I take a screenshot? Caller?
Hold on, Zach. I'm turning this down. Hey, Zach.
Yeah.
I'm listening to you talk about this game. It's Miami game, and you were saying about Pitt. You're saying if they don't win today, it's not good for them going into Pitt because they need to be 4-3 going into Pitt. You said.
Well, I'm saying that's what would make the most sense. They'd have to win this game and their next game, which they should win their next one. Then they'd go into Pitt 4-3, and Pitt.
is there any insight other than what you just previously gave about that game as far as why you think? I mean, I've just never seen anything like that before, where most of the money's on one side, but the line is going the opposite direction. So, I mean, is there any explanation you and your expertise can offer for that?
Well, we saw that the money was more on Miami when it was even, right? When there was no spread. So people were taking Miami, but now that they have to win by a field goal, people don't think Miami's going to cover that, so they went on Virginia. So people are expecting this game.
But shouldn't the line be going down as well if the underdog is?
No, because remember, Miami had more money on them when it was even. So then they made Miami the favorite, and now that it's increased to a 3-point favorite, people are betting Virginia.
Okay. All right. That makes a little bit more sense to me. Thanks, Zach.
Yeah, no problem, man. All right, see you. It's interesting, though, how it got so lopsided, because that's not a big favorite. It's not like they became a touchdown favorite. So it is kind of interesting how it got so lopsided. There might be some other information out there about the game that I'm missing. So, okay, so we got to get the head-to-head between these schools. Colorado State. New Mexico. 41-25. They got a lot of history. So Colorado State's 41-25. What was it again? 41-25. Okay. And this game was at New Mexico, wasn't it? Yeah. All right, we got to do some counting here. So, all right, let's practice our counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So they got 21 wins there. Now we got to count up the losses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 21-14. All right, so let's think about that. Caller?
Hey, Zach, who you say like a hockey for the night now? Who best for hockey?
Well, there wasn't anything that was crazy awesome. I thought the Panthers on the road probably had the best riddle tonight at Buffalo. So
that's on me. So I go over.
There's only 3 games tonight in hockey. Yeah, there's only 3 games to choose from.
Man, I'm late now. Hey, before you leave me, you gonna do college for tomorrow for a 12 o'clock game? You gonna do it for tonight, or you ain't gonna do it?
Well, I'll get up tomorrow and see if anything jumps out about college football. Yeah, I'll put out. So pay attention to the Patreon page. I'll get up and I'll put out college football notes for what looks good tomorrow.
Okay, I'm in the game. I'm looking for is Alabama play against Texas A&M.
And so you're wondering if they're gonna cover? Okay, I'll see if they'll cover. They're definitely gonna win.
Oh, you think Alabama will win?
Of course they are.
Why you say that, Zach?
We already know why.
Yeah, Alabama. Man, I forgot that him and Belichick, they buddies, man. I forgot they best buddies. Yeah, you right. They probably win that.
Yeah.
Okay, Zach. No problem. Thanks, sir.
All right. Thanks, man. See you.
How you do?
Okay. So New Mexico. We got to figure out what's jumping out here about these games. Is there anything in the names? Again, Rams is 15. If you use that rule for S, it's also 24. That's something that could happen in New Mexico tonight. They could fall to 2-4. Notice the Rams come in 1-5. And Lobos got that 63 connection like Friday. Colorado State. So there's nothing about the date numerology other than 33. They could improve to 3-3. I'll just put the note here. New Mexico can improve to 3-3 on 33. Date numerology. Does New Mexico? Hold on. Let me see the Gematria in New Mexico real quick. 48, 42. Never mind. Or they can fall to 2-4. Rams equals 24. Again, in the reduction ciphers, you have to remember the two rules. So when you look at just the quick list when you use Gematrinator, you got to remember S is the 19th letter. It's the only letter you have to reduce 2 times. 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So in the reduction, it just takes it to 1. But S can also be 10, so you got to consider that. And in reverse, it's H. So if there's an H in the word in reverse, it can be 1 or 10. So anyway, Rams is also 24. So there's a chance New Mexico falls to 2-4 versus the Rams tonight. Just making sure I'm not missing anything with their Gematria. Hold on, let me make sure I didn't miss anything with the Virginia and Miami ACC records. Yeah. All right, let's look up the coaches. Caller?
Hey, you have a caller asking about the Miami-Virginia game, right? The splits?
Uh-huh.
Well, right here on the Vegas Insider, it's showing that 68% of the money line action public is on Virginia.
Right, that's what we're saying.
Okay, I thought he was saying people are betting on Miami.
Well, when the line opened up and it was a pick-em, more people were betting on Miami. But now that Miami's the favorite, people are picking Virginia.
Right. Because it opened at -1, and then it basically now it's -3.
Right.
Yeah, and the spread's basically 58% Virginia and 42% Miami. So that's almost even split. But yeah, money. Okay, I see what you guys are saying. Okay, that's cool.
Okay. Yeah. All right. See you, man.
Thank you.
Hey, that Manny Diaz, his full name is a lot like Virginia Cavaliers, 89 and 118. Just looked up his full name real quick. I forgot to do one thing with this game, so I'm just going to go back and do one more thing. See what Bronco Mendenhall's full day. Or hold on. I wanted to see how many days it is from his birthday to the game. March 13th. He's born on the 72nd day of the year. It's 212 days after his birthday, or his 213th day of his age. February 21st. 232 days, or a span of 233. Oh, well, that's actually crucial. Today's the 233rd day of Bronco Mendenhall's birthday. That's the 51st prime number. His team could get to 5-1 today. All right, I'm glad I went back and looked at that. Because it's possible at Virginia, if they won and went on to lose at Louisville, which is possible, they'd fall to 6-2 there. Louisville's 62, could set up for an upset. But Bronco Mendenhall, it is the perfect day of his age to improve to 5-1. 233rd day of his age, 51st prime number. Honestly, I'd still just wait and see, because there probably is a few more things lining up for Virginia here to win this game. Our man with the Lions likes Virginia, but even he's not going to touch it for some reason. But yeah, it is the perfect day for Bronco Mendenhall to become 5-1. All right, hold on. Let's get the coaches here. For the record, you guys, I really don't like college football unless you get that scenario that I always teach about, and we're perfect in those scenarios. Anytime you get it where, like say, Colorado State Rams equals 64. If the New Mexico coach was going for his 64th win or 64th loss, that's the money in the bank riddle for college football. And again, if you comb through all the games, that's what I encourage you guys to do. Use this knowledge. Comb through the games. See what coaches can pick up the win or loss that corresponds with the full college name, because those riddles come through like clockwork. Caller?
Hey, Zach. Listen to that Bronco Mendenhall riddle you just found.
Uh-huh.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, hold on, my son just distracted me. I'm looking at it, and shit. Hold on, let me call you right back, Zach. Sorry about that.
All right, yeah, all right, see you. All right, let me get these coaches here. Colorado State football coach. Because remember, Mendenhall can stay on 66 losses too, and that's the name of that stadium. It equals 66. Bobo. Mike Bobo. These names. Bobo could get his 33rd loss today on the 33 date. All right. It's his 58th game. All right. Mike Bobo. All right. $25.32. All right, let me make sure. Okay, we got the 33 date numerology, and New Mexico could improve to 3-3, and he could pick up his 33rd loss on the 33 date. New Mexico's the 47th state. All right, let me see. All right, Bob Davey. All right. Bob Davey. He's 70-82. With New Mexico, he is 35-57. All right. 35-57. Friday's 36. Friday's 36. All right, so the date numerology could play on two sides in this one. I'm still looking. I prefer Gematria. I prefer when they can pick up the wins and losses that correspond. Every week there's games like that. You just got to search for them. And honestly, you guys, if I didn't do the live streams and I just sat there and just went through college football, I'm thinking about just doing live streams one day a week and just spending, because I mean, doing the live stream takes time. If I'm just sitting at my computer, like just flying through the games, just decoding, looking for those riddles, I will find them, and it might be more worthwhile to just do that, scan all the games and then just post, okay, I like these games this weekend for these reasons. So you guys can give me feedback on if that's what you would rather me do. I know some people enjoy the live stream because they just like the social aspect, so I try to find the balance, but you know, there's only so many hours in a day, so let's see. So the date numerology is supportive of New Mexico becoming 3-3, and the Colorado State coach getting his 33rd loss. It is there. It's just, I'd rather find, again, where they could pick up the winner-loss that syncs with the team names. And I don't see that here. The date numerology is the one you got to go off of. Oh, I see one other thing about the New Mexico coach. If he didn't lose, he'd stay on 57 losses, and Rams is 57, the opponent. So he could get his 36th win on a Friday, 36, and stay on 57 losses, and then the date numerology would factor in. If Colorado State coach got 33rd loss, New Mexico would improve to 3-3. Okay, so, I mean, again, the magic bullet riddle's not there. Picking up the win or loss. See if we can get it in the Colorado-Oregon game. Oregon's a big favorite here. Ducks is 13. They're ranked 13, and notice they're 4-1, 41 the 13th prime. Ducks might actually be 41 as well. No, it's just 13. Oregon Ducks. Yeah, I thought so. Oregon Ducks is 51. So yeah, this is good night nurse right here. Oregon will win this game. It's just, do they cover that 22-point margin? That's a big spread there. If Oregon wins, they will be 5-1. Oregon Ducks equals 51. Does Buffaloes have an E in it? I think it does. Gotta make sure. Yeah. Buffaloes. Colorado. I won't be surprised if there's a 38 in the score tonight, because Colorado and Oregon both equal 38 in the most pure cipher. 38 to 16 would be a difference of 22. 16 is an awkward score, though. Ducks, Oregon, Ducks. I could see Oregon putting up 38 points. If Buffalo or if Colorado scored 23, that would get you to your over-under, but it wouldn't cover. Let me see. What's their record anyway? So Colorado can become 3-3 in Oregon, plus Buffalo's is 33. Yeah, this game is just so. I mean, this is the kind. I don't know what the money line plays for Oregon. Probably nothing. But if I was a millionaire, honestly, I would go to Vegas and bet $1 million on this game for Oregon just on the money line, because you'd probably. I don't even care if it only paid out $100,000, but I mean, I'd be shocked if Oregon didn't win this game. It's just, do they cover the spread? So we'll see if we can figure that out. All right, so it makes perfect sense with an Oregon win and a Buffalo loss or Colorado loss. It's just, where's the clue for the spread? You know what? Ducks equals 22 when you use the rule for S. That's where they're going with that. So 22, Ducks 22. Hold on, I forgot to do something with the New Mexico game. I forgot to look at the stadium. Dream Style Stadium. It's a weird name. Dream Style Stadium. Did that connect to anything? Doesn't look like it. Okay. And Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's the other thing I got to run. Albuquerque NM is 67. I think this is the 67th game between these teams. It is. 67th game, Albuquerque, New Mexico equals 67. That's the 19th prime, but there weren't any 19s on the board. That could be a good sign for the home team, though. Again, the home team would be 3-3. All right, Albuquerque, 37th prime. Is there any 37s that could hit? No. Albuquerque, Mexico, 251, 54th prime. No 54s either. But again, if that New Mexico coach doesn't lose, he would stay on 57 losses. I guess the only thing I saw that could go against him is Albuquerque equals 58. Doesn't have to come today, though. All right. I didn't look at the upcoming games either. I should do that real quick. Hold on. Colorado. No. Colorado State. They got Fresno State Bulldogs next. Fresno State. Bulldogs. It doesn't give us anything. Caller?
Hey, Zach. I just got off work. I haven't been able to watch the stream. Who do you like for the baseball game tonight?
Well, I really like St. Louis a lot. I encourage you to watch the stream because we went over a lot of the World Series stuff and what looks good for a World Series. There's a really awesome connection between the last time the Yankees and Cardinals played. I think more lines up for the Cardinals tonight, but if Mikolas loses, the Cardinals pitcher tonight, he'll be 10-15 for his career. So I'm a little bit gun shy of that because 1-0-1-5 is a bit like 1-1-5 like St. Louis.
Yeah.
So I really like St. Louis to take the series. That they got the better alignment for sure. Look at the notes I posted on the Patreon and watch the beginning part of the video because that's where we decoded all the upcoming World Series clues. And then we noticed Voit, who got traded from the Cardinals to Yankees. His name equals 115, and he's got a nice sync with the start of the World Series. He's a Yankee now, came over from the Cardinals. So,
oh, wow. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, I'll do that.
All right, take care, man. Have a good one. Okay. So I don't see UNLV running. How do you spell running Rebels? They leave the G off. Oh, it's just Rebels now. When I was a kid, it was the running Rebels. 59 is the 17th prime. If they lost today, they'd be 1-6. And then they'd have to lose to Fresno State to fall to 1-7. And what was UNLV alone? All right. Well, New Mexico Lobos. The Wyoming Cowboys. So they face the Cowboys next. Now Cowboys equals 33. So if they won, they'd go into that Cowboys game 3-3. And Wyoming's 43. So it would give them a chance to get to 4-3 as well. The devil's advocate narrative is that Wyoming has that 83 connection, the 23rd prime, but they're already 2-3. Okay. So New Mexico plays color.
Hey, Shaq.
Hey.
That game for the Oregon and Buffalo. So I agree with you. Oregon playing at home, they play their teams very tough. So and this season, Justin Hubert, he elected to stay playing college football, but he's predicted by NFL to be a number 1 round pick.
Right.
Quarterback.
And his name equals 83 like football.
Since since the beginning, before the season started for the college football season, there was a lot of high hopes for this Oregon team to try to make a run for the playoffs. But since they lost that first game to Auburn, that's already done for the year. But after that, they've been known for having a very ferocious defense. So if you can see the last few games, after they lost that game to Auburn, they won their last 4 games straight, and their defense has given single digits scores. So I mean, like, they got a touchdown, 2 field goals in games. So as far as that, but I don't know about Buffalo is a good team, but I agree. This is I don't know if they're gonna cover, but I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, they're definitely going to win this one. 5-1 and 3-3 is too perfect for both teams. So,
but but for me to cover, I don't know about Oregon cover. I mean, they'll have a lead and then just let the defense just take
They only scored 17 points at home last week against Cal, 21 on the road at Stanford. They did whoop Montana's ass, but that's not a fair game. They did smash Nevada, not a fair game. Ducks equals 77 points. And I remember that Auburn game, we favored Auburn to win that one over Oregon. That's the only game they've lost on the road. Or that was on a neutral stadium, I think, in Texas. But
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Bye.
All right, see you. Yeah, but, well, again, if you got bankroll, I mean, this is the kind of game where you could go big on and just do a money line because it's not going to be a big payout. But I mean, I don't see these riddles not hitting. 5-1, 3-3. Oregon Ducks 51. Buffalo's 33. Oregon, the 33rd state, perfect state to become 3-3 in. So I just don't know about that cover. 61. Is there a 61 on the board? For my guy out there with money who's fretting about the Yankees, he lives in Oregon. You could get your insurance. Instead of hedging on the Astros, you could do it on this game tonight. Caller?
Yeah, Zach, I just wanted to say, I think that thing you pointed out with Luke Voigt is really, really interesting because I'm from New York, and when the playoffs had first started, one of the big criticisms, and it was all over New York radio, was Luke Voigt making one of the last playoff roster positions. They were saying that the Yankees probably should have went with another pitcher, being as though CeCe had caught that injury and wasn't able to play, but they decided to go with Luke Voigt. So it's kind of interesting you found all those connections with him.
Yeah, well, it was that woman who called in and asked about him, and that was a great thought by her. So.
And also, one more thing, if the Cardinals win this series, they're going to have 98 wins. 98, again, goes back to that champions. And also the coach's birthday on 8-9, 9-8, whichever way you want to look at it. And also, what was the other thing about? Oh, okay, so the Nationals, they equal 33 and 42, but the word choke also equals 42. So I have a small guess that they might possibly win this first game and then choke the rest of the series. That's just my guess, though.
You're thinking the Nationals do that?
Yeah, the Nationals might choke. Yeah, even if they go out one game, I think they might choke it.
Sure.
But that 98 and with the coach's birthday and everything like that, and then they could start against the Yankees in the World Series, getting their 99th win against Aaron Judge. 99.
Right.
So that was it.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Don't forget the Aaron Judge riddle from earlier this year when the former Supreme Court Justice died, Stephen Breyer. That was synced with Aaron Judge, and it was also synced with the World Series. There were just so many things we document about the Yankees this year in the World Series. So, remember, the Yankees got the 57th win before the Astros. We thought it would be the ALCS because the Astros got it the next day, but the Yankees got it on July 5th, 5-7, the World Series number. Okay. Let me get the, what's the Oregon coach's name in? Mario Cristobal. Caller?
Hello, Zach.
Hey.
Say, I have a request. If you would possibly consider decoding another college game between now and game time Saturday night.
I will. What game?
This would be for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors.
You got it. I won't forget it because I think they're going to – I expect them to have a good season because of the death of their player in the offseason, so.
Yeah, I do too. The decode you did on September the 8th when they played Oregon.
Beavers. That was the Beavers.
Yeah, that won me $335.
Well, and, my dad wasn't happy about it. My dad's a big Beavers fan, but I'm glad you won.
Yeah. And then I did my own decode 2 weeks ago when they played Nevada, and they did win that one. But this Boise State, my little decoding shows that Rolovich, the Hawaii coach, has a small riddle to win, and then Parson, the Boise State coach, has a small riddle to lose overall.
Okay.
Overall lose. So anyway, I just thought I'd ask if you would do that.
So tomorrow when I get up, I'm going to decode college football, and I'll just keep posting the notes. So look for the notes because I'll put them on the Patreon page.
Thanks a lot, Zach.
All right. Yeah, take care.
Okay, bye.
Caller?
You a scam, bro.
What is it? Yeah, trolling. Okay. Let's see. All right, so I got to get Cristobal's record. Let's see. He's on 13 wins. So he can get his 14th win versus Colorado. Colorado equals 43, the 14th prime. All right, so Oregon coach. Is 40-53 all time. He is 13-6 with Oregon. Colorado equals 43, 14th prime. So perfect team to get the 14th win against. And just make sure I'm not missing anything. All right. What's his birthday? Let's see. September 24th. So it's 17 days after his birthday. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach, real briefly, just wanted to ask you, man, some of these trollers, man, why don't we just delete them?
Because it's impossible. Because they just come back in 5 seconds. Because the thing on Patreon is if you get blocked, it gives you a full refund. So you can just come back and start your new account instantly, which is what they do.
Oh. Okay,
yeah, and the other thing is when I did block them months ago, then it just got worse. So I just haven't done it anymore. Because it's like they multiplied.
All right, thanks, Zach.
Yeah. All right, see you. Yeah, that's why on the new site, which is getting built, I'll be able to just block them instantly. So, and they won't get any refund. So you guys can sign up as much as you want. You can help build the movement with your trolling. You'll get one post in and then have to sign up again. All right, let's see. The Colorado football coach. Let's see here. Mel Tucker. I forgot to run the name of Mario Cristobal. Mel Tucker, 54. I guess that would be the Colorado upset narrative right there. Mel Tucker equals 54. Colorado coach. I don't see it, though. I don't see it. All right, so he's a first-year coach. All right. All right. If you do use the rule for S, Buffaloes is 42. All right, hold on. Caller? Hello? Hello? Oh, I heard.
Can you hear me?
Now I hear you. What's up?
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh. It broke up. Rod, call me back. Rod, call me back. Call me back because something screwed up with the signal. Yeah, just call me back. Oops. All right, let's see. Mel Tucker. The name Tucker equals 33 too, if I'm not mistaken. If you use the rule for K, it's 33. The master numerology of K. Where did Mario Cristobal go? Okay, we got to look at the head-to-head here. All right, interesting. It's going to be the 22nd game, and there's a 22-point spread. So that's funny. Coaches. 22nd game. 22-point spread. Ducks equals 13 and 22. Oregon's 12 and 9. So Oregon can get their 13th win too. Is there something about 139 in the Ducks that I'm forgetting? All right, Oregon is 12 and 9 versus Colorado and at home. At home, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins, 3 losses. So they can get to 6 and 3 on Friday. Oregon is 5 and 3 at home. All I can say about that is Friday equals 63. There's Mario Cristobal. Cristobal's 63 too to go with the coach's name. All right, so we can look at who they play next. Hey, Rod, if you're out there, man, call me back. I wanted to hear what you were going to say. It's just the signal was all screwed up. Oregon football schedule. They got the Huskies next week. Washington. Huskies. All right, so this would have to be the upset narrative for Buffalo right here. Oregon plays Washington Huskies next week. Washington is 42nd state. Huskies equals 43. Would have to lose next two to get to 4-3 record. Huskies equals 52 though as well because there's an H in it. So they could, maybe they lose next week to Washington to fall to 5-2. Games at Washington. Washington started off the year ranked. They lost their ranking, so they could get it back by beating Oregon at home. And then they got the Cougars the next week at home. Cougars is 42. All right, Washington State Cougars. Colorado's got Washington State next week. Well, that would have to be the upset narrative. They'd go into the Cougars 4-2 if they won. The 3-3 and 5-1's too perfect though. Let's see. If Colorado, I wonder who Jacksonville. There's this synchronicity between the Jaguars and Washington State because they got Minshew this year. I want to see who the Jaguars play next. I just want to see something real quick. I think Cougars don't play this week. I think they got the week off. Or never mind, that was last week. All right, they play at Arizona State tomorrow. So they'll probably lose that game. So far, when Washington State's lost, Jacksonville's won, and when Jacksonville's won, Washington State's lost. So WSU probably loses. Well, I got to look at that game more. But just thinking if Colorado split their next two, they'd be 4-3, and Colorado's 43. All right, Cougars equals 42. If Buffalo upset this week, they would go in 4-2. Again, I think the upset is unlikely. Because, I mean, looking at, so when you look a week ahead, that's where the narrative is for Buffalo to upset. But just looking at the immediate game, it looks great for Oregon. Oregon Ducks 51 most pure cipher, Buffalo's 33 most pure cipher, plus Oregon's the 33rd state. And also Cristobal, the Oregon coach, can get his 14th win with Oregon. Colorado's the perfect opponent. Colorado 43, the 14th prime. So it looks good. But yeah, I'll scan college football tomorrow and try to find the ones. Again, the college football riddle that I feel really good about is, again, when a coach can pick up the win or loss that corresponds with the full name. Miami Hurricanes, Virginia Cavaliers. At the beginning of the college football season, it was funny. Like the first three games we looked at were all that way. And of course, we went 3 for 3 on those. Anytime you can find that, where the coach can pick up the win or loss that syncs with the full team name, New Mexico Lobos, Colorado State Rams, you know you've found a gem. Those are the games where you can feel extra confident. Caller?
Yeah, Zach. Sorry to interrupt you. I know you're doing college football for people. But I like to do like my own little decode. So I'm just now learning a little bit more about baseball. So with the Pitchers record, does the flow over like the whole season? Because I see that the Annabelle Sanchez dude is 11-8. So if he lost tonight, would he become like an 11-9 for like the whole season? And in the pop out like that when he pitch again?
He would be 11-9 for the entire season. That is correct.
Okay, yeah, it looked like a little 9-11 thing, and when I've been seeing that right lately, it's been hitting for me. So,
well, you're not the only one a lot of people have noticed the same observation that the 11-9 comes through a lot. So the one thing to consider,
a couple of games.
The other thing to consider is the opposing pitcher, which was pointed out. Mikolas, if he lost, I believe he would be 10-15 for his career, which kind of looks like 1-1-5 because it is the year of the 115th World Series. So just keep an eye on that too.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, sir.
All right, man. You're welcome.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, see you. Okay, so again, Virginia-Miami, really tight game. In light of college football being so coach-driven, Bronco Mendenhall, it is his 233rd day of his age, which is the 51st prime number. He could get to 5-1 on a very fitting day. It would keep him at 66 total career losses in Hard Rock Stadium, which equals 66. And if Virginia wins, their record at Miami would make a lot of sense. But the problem with this game is the overall head-to-head record. I'm noticing that Miami leads 9-7. Hurricane equals 97. That's funny. Okay, I see another riddle with that. Anyway, the riddle for Miami to win is through the overall, it being the 17th game, which is the 7th prime. Hold up, I totally missed something here. You know what? Virginia equals 89 and Virginia Cavaliers. I don't know how I didn't see this before. I'm glad I'm seeing it now. Did this game already start? No, it starts in a half hour. Okay, so you know what? Even the overall head-to-head record, so Miami has one thing. They could stay on 7 losses in the 17th game because 17 is the 7th prime. In college basketball, prime numbers are very good. In the other sports, they're hit and miss, I would say, but college basketball, for whatever reason, they're awesome. But anyway, if Virginia did win, they would be 8-9 versus Miami, and Virginia is equal to 89, so is Virginia Cavaliers. They're both 89. So, even in the head-to-head record, hold on, I have an extra eye in there. Virginia's 89, Virginia Cavaliers 89. That was big in the basketball tournament this year. So, okay, you can make sense out of the head-to-head record for Virginia. You can make sense of the record at Miami for Virginia. Manny Diaz for Miami. His best riddle is to become 3-3 on the 33 date numerology. Usually the Gematria trumps the date numerology, though. And Bronco Mendenhall, again, he's on the most perfect day of his age to become 5-1. So I do think a bit more is lining up for Virginia here in this one. But I'm still not crazy about the game just because of the 33 ritual still there. And we also saw that if Miami did win this game and their next, they should win their next game because it's easy, they'd go into Pitt with the perfect record. So still a little bit dangerous, but yeah, I got to say things look a bit better for Virginia through the head-to-head record and through the coach. Then Colorado State, New Mexico. You got to trust the date numerology on this one. Again, the 33 date numerology. If New Mexico won, they would be 3-3. Keep in mind, though, if they lost, they'd be 2-4, and Rams, who they play, does equal 24. But if they improve to 3-3, the Colorado State coach, he could also get his 33rd loss on the 33 day. And if the New Mexico coach won, he'd stay on 57 losses with New Mexico against the Rams, which equals 57. So we also saw that New Mexico plays the Cowboys next. So if they won, they'd go in 3-3 to face the Cowboys 33. And if they beat the Wyoming Cowboys, they'd become 4-3. Wyoming's 43 like football. And then Colorado and Oregon. Colorado loses tonight. They're 3-3 on the 33 date in the 33rd state, which is Oregon. And Oregon improves to 5-1. Oregon Ducks equals 51. Colorado Buffaloes equals 33. So, I mean, just using your most pure ciphers, it looks like about as straight of a shot as you could have for a matchup. Oregon's a 22-point favorite in the 22nd game between these teams. Ducks does equal 22. I'm not sure they cover. They only scored 17 points last week against Cal. Again, their last big offensive eruption was against Nevada. They scored 77 in that game. Ducks is also 77. Just looking at the numbers of the team, if Oregon does put up some points tonight, I have a feeling it'll be 38 because both teams have the 38 connection. Colorado Buffaloes is 71, the 20th prime if they won by 20. Colorado Buffaloes is also 91, the 13th triangular, like Ducks is 13. They're ranked 13 if they won by 13. Just not sure about winning by 22. It could happen, but I'm not sure about it. There's no great indicator, in my opinion, to say that they would. Here, we can see how the public money is. That's always a good way to look at it, is how did the public bet? Is the public heavy on Colorado covering? Well, it looks like a lot of people are feeling that Oregon's going to cover. 89% of the money's on Oregon to cover. So, I mean, sometimes they pay out to the public, but Vegas can win big tonight if they don't cover that 22. And the way they've played opponents recently, I think, it might be closer than people expect. So, all right, that's the college football notes. All the notes are up on the Patreon wall for today's games, so be sure to check those out. And tomorrow, what I'm going to do is get up. I might even do it tonight. I might even start putting out notes tonight. Sometimes it's nice to take a break. That's the one thing I don't know if you guys realize that. I don't really get many breaks. I'm pretty much working all the time, and my woman thinks I'm insane. But yeah, I'll probably put out the football notes tomorrow morning. I'll get up so I can get it out before game time. And then tomorrow afternoon we'll do our NFL decode for week 6. Finish up our thoughts there. So I'll put these notes up on the wall right now and we'll call it a day. And Kathy, if you're out there, I'm going to call you. I gotta ask you about something. So, all right, let's see. Okay, so everything should be up on the wall. If you go to the Patreon wall, let me make sure all the notes are there. All right, we got one more call here too. College football notes, oh, the caller hung up before I could answer it. Daily Picks is trolling. Let's see. All right, hold on. NHL notes are right here. So that's what we got. We got NHL and the MLB notes must be further. That's right. I posted the MLB notes last night. So the MLB notes for today are right here. Do I have the wrong date though? I posted the wrong date. Oh, it's posted October 10th, but no, I got the right date. Okay. All right, we'll leave it there, you guys. So everything's on the wall. All right, we got one last call, though. Caller?
What's going on, Zach?
Hey, man.
Yeah, what I was calling for, I wanted to ask you, I know it's the, 10-1, October 11th, so I was asking you, what was your thoughts about the Islanders, in hockey, the New York Islanders today?
Oh, yeah, because it's 1-11. I see what you're saying. Hold on, let me pull that one back up. What did I see in that game? Let me get it up here.
Okay. Also, too, while you're at it, what you think about Houston and the Yankees tomorrow by being October 12th, the 1-1-2? Do you think that favors in Houston, or you going to look more into it?
Well, if the Cardinals win tonight, I'm going to like the Yankees tomorrow, too, because, again, today leaves 81 days left in the year. Cardinals equals 81. Tomorrow leaves 80 days left in the year. Yankees equals 80. I have a feeling they're going to parallel each other because of that. So.
Okay.
Your point about New York and 1-11 today. Buffalo's also playing. That game, I guess, already started, but that's a 1-11 connection. Hold on. So Islanders.
And I know that they actually in New York with the Buffalo game. So
right.
The Islanders on the road. That's why I was wondering. But I know New York is more pure to the 111. But I did see that Buffalo. But what was you saying now?
Okay, so if I was just looking down the road for the Islanders game. If they lost tonight and their next game, they'd go into that Blues game 1-4, and Blues is 14 in the most pure cipher. Also, if the Islanders lost tonight, they'd be 1-3, and when you write out 13, it equals 117, like Carolina Hurricanes. The narrative I saw for the Islanders is if Hurricanes lost tonight, they'd stay on 166 points versus the Islanders all time. Because I'm just wondering, like, do they got to get those 168th points in New York City? Because New York City's 168. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way, but I think it's most likely the favorite team does take it here. Just because Islanders, yeah, they're not up to the best start, and it would make sense if they went into that Blues game 1-4. So, yeah, I honestly, I'd wait though. I'd just wait until you get some better points riddles. Like tomorrow, there'll be more hockey games, so there'll probably be some good point riddles on the board tomorrow.
So. Yeah, that's right. All right, cool. And then I know Monday they're gonna be on all day. I'll be in Vegas on Sunday night, so I know Monday is Columbus Day. They're gonna be on all day Monday. But I just wanted to ask you that with that 111. See if you kind of like the Islanders by being the 111 or something. We can just observe if they do win today.
That is a good point. Sure, if both the New York teams won today, or even if they both lost, we would know what's up. I remember last year, I think it was basketball on January 11th. What surprised me is both the New York teams lost. So, could be like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So I'll let you get back to another thing too. If you do the college, do the LSU. It's a big game tomorrow. Number 5, number 7 seed, Florida and LSU.
On it. Yeah, I will. All right. All right. Good luck, Rod.
Keep it up.
Yeah, we'll do. Have a good night, man. All right. Last call. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach. It's that Islanders game and the Hurricanes.
I'm
just wondering the fact that it's October 11th.
That's the last caller was saying. 111, New York 111.
Yeah.
It's possible, but like I said, last year on January 11th in the NBA season, both New York teams lost on that day, so it's no guarantee that they'll win because it's 111.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it, but I mean, I just didn't see it listed on your notes.
I'm going to plug it in there right now. It should be listed there. You're right about that.
All right, thanks.
All right, yeah, no problem, man. See you. Okay. All right, I'm just going to plug this in the notes here. Today is 10/11. New York equals 111. All right. Again, wait for those point riddles in hockey. The point riddles have been perfect so far this year. Of course, they won't remain perfect all year, but again, points in hockey, that's where the money is. So we'll leave it there, and good luck, everybody. Be back tomorrow. The live stream's not going to be in the morning tomorrow. Just look for football notes. I'll get them out as fast as I can. And then we'll do a live stream, though, tomorrow for NFL football. And we'll probably start at about 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern for the NFL Decode. So plan on that. And again, Patreon wall. And for all of you guys who are saying you don't get notifications, just keep your eye on the Patreon wall because live streams are typically in the morning. Been shifting up a little bit here on the weekends. But just keep an eye on that wall for the current posts. So, ooh, Thomas caught something that I overlooked. I want to verify that real quick before we go. Raleigh and ooh, yeah, he's right on, man. They could get. How did I not see that? All right, let me go back and put that in the notes. That's a good one. Nice work, Thomas. And then that would fit in with the thing I was looking at about why it made sense for the Islanders to fall to 1-3. Let me plug that in. Okay. Let me see. Hurricanes can improve to 5-0. Raleigh NC's 50. And they'd be rolling. Okay. All right. It's plugged in. It's updated. All right, great work. Great closing comment there, Thomas. Till next time, you guys.